In this video, we learn how to do percentage problems involving appreciation and depreciation. So, for example, a house is valued at £240,000. Its value is predicted to rise by 2.8% per annum. Calculate its predicted value after 2 years. So we start by finding the factor of increase, because we're told it's a 2.8% rise. So we do 100 plus 2.8, and that gives us 102.8%. And then we would divide that by 100 to get the factor of increase. So that would just be 1.028. And then we would just raise that to the power of 2 because it's being increased for 2 years. And then we just go ahead and multiply that by 240,000. So it would just be 240,000 times 1.028 to the power of 2. And that gives 253,628.16. And that would be the predicted value after 2 years. So this is called the factor of increase. Just label that. Okay, let's try another example. A necklace is valued at £1,200. Its value is expected to increase by 4.5% per year over the next 3 years. Calculate the expected value of the necklace after this time. Give your answer to the nearest pound. Okay, so it's another increase question, so we do 100 plus 4.5. If it was a decrease, it would just be minus 4.5. So 100 plus 4.5 gives 104.5%. And then we just divide that by 100 to get the factor of increase. So that would give 1.045. And then because it's being increased for 3 years, it would just be 1,200 times 1.045 to the power of 3. So that gives 1,369.40. I'll just write it out in full, actually. So 399 and so on. And then to the nearest pound, that would just be 1,369 pounds. Okay, let's try a decrease question this time. So it says households in a city produced a total of 125,000 tonnes of waste in 2017. The total amount of waste is expected to fall by 2% each year. Calculate the total amount of waste these households are expected to produce in 2020. Okay, so because it's a decrease this time, or you can say depreciation, it would be 100 minus 2. And then you just divide that by 100 as before, so 0.98, and that would be the factor of decrease this time. And then it's decreasing so from 2017 to 2020, so that would be 3 years. So we just raise that to the power of 3, and then we multiply it by 125,000. So that would give 117,649. And that would be in tons. Okay, let's try a slightly more challenging question. Just make that a bit bigger. So it says a caravan was bought for £20,000. It depreciated by 11% in the first year. It then depreciated by a further 6% each year over the next 2 years. Calculate the value of the caravan 3 years after it was bought. So this is actually a two-step question. So first we'll find how much it was worth after the first year, and then we'll depreciate that by 6% for 2 years to find the final amount, so 3 years after it was bought. So I'll just write after the first year, and then after 3 years. So after the first year, the factor of decrease would just be 100 minus 11 over 100, or you can just do it in steps as we did before. So 100 minus 11 is 89, and then 89 over 100 is 0.89. So that would be the factor of decrease. And then you just multiply that by 20,000. So it's only decreasing for 1 year, so we don't need to raise that to any powers. So it would be 20,000 times 0.89, and that gives 17,800. And then starting from this value, it decreases by 6% for 2 years. So the new factor of decrease would be 100 minus 6 over 100, and you can do that in steps as before. So 94 over 100, which is 0.94, and then it would just be 17,800 times 0.94 to the power of 2. And the reason it's to the power of 2 is because it's decreasing for 2 more years from this value. So that would give 15,728.08. And there you have it. That's how you do appreciation and depreciation questions.